Bulma looks back at Vegeta, and Vegeta stares at her, surprised that it is Bulma who is attempting to save him, a Earthling from the backwater planet that he just tried to destroy. But this locking of the eyes is cut short as he realizes, as well as everybody else, that Birder is standing right in front of them. He has caught up to them, no surprise there. I mean, they're only on a speeder bike and he is, the fastest being alive. And he comes in for a punch. And it looks like he is aiming straight for Bulma. And if Birder actually punches Bulma, I would guarantee the reality of the situation would be that Bulma's head would go flying into a pond somewhere. But luckily, it seems it is Goku time, and he gets there right in the nick of time, stops Birder with one finger, and then drop kicks him in the face, breaking his scouter, surprising everyone. And it looks like Bulma and Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta were all thrown off the bike in the ensuing calamity. Goku has saved the day and he's apologizing for his rough landing. I mean, he did destroy the bike, and Bulma's just lucky to be alive. Krillin fills him in on exactly what's going on, similar to the anime where they're telling him exactly what happened. And Goku looks over at a really damaged Vegeta, who is now untied from Bulma, but you can see that Bulma is actually worried about him. Goku offers Bulma a senzu bean for Vegeta, seeing as how he was trying to help everyone, and he actually kind of was in his own Vegeta way. Obviously, he was facing off against the Ginyu Force, but Goku is going to take care of Recoome, which actually pisses Recoome off, similar to the anime. And as Recoome charges in anger, Goku makes swift work, kicking him right in the gut to everyone's shock. And Recoome is down for the count with his ass cheeks up in the air, to Bulma's utter disgust. So this is almost the exact same thing that happened in the anime and the manga, because now all that's left, at least in this little squad, is Jace. And Jace flies off to probably warn Frieza, get more reinforcements, get someone to come and help him. Goku gives everyone senzu beans to get him back to 100%, and Bulma gives Vegeta his, and Vegeta does not want it. He kind of pulls his face away, but Bulma screams at him and sticks the senzu bean right in his mouth, leading to a strangely kinky moment between Vegeta and Bulma. And they both kind of feel this sort of weird tension through this entire manga, and they just don't want anything to do with it at this point. So Bulma pulls away and Vegeta realizes that he's back to 100%. Now this is another part of the story that is brand new to this manga, and Krillin asks why there are 2 4-star Dragon Balls, and Vegeta asks the exact same thing, only for Bulma to go into a tremendous explanation that she has a chemist friend and they looked at the compounds that make the Dragon Balls, but they don't got time for that kind of explanation. So Bulma essentially says that she made a fake one with her friend's help while she was bored waiting for everybody to return. But because Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta stopped by for like a second, grabbed the Dragon Ball and ran off, Bulma couldn't tell them that there was also a fake, so she used the Dragon Radar to come and basically save their butts from getting killed by Recoome. Vegeta, quick to anger, blasts all the combatants that are knocked out and yells at Goku, why don't you take care of the enemy like you're supposed to? And Goku yells at him that they couldn't even barely move, and that is basically Recoome, Birder, and I believe Guldo, but he might be dead by this point. So Vegeta basically slaughtered these guys when they're knocked out. And Vegeta has a point, because he says that his softness is going to get him killed, and I mean, it does get him in trouble, but Jace is going to come back with Frieza and Captain Ginyu, and they're just going to take the Dragon Ball. Goku can't do anything against all that firepower. Bulma has an answer for everything and says, why don't we just hide with the Dragon Ball, find the rest of them, and make our wish? And that's when Goku realizes that there is a powerful aura over the horizon, and Gohan yells at them that it's in the direction of the elders, and if Frieza goes there and the Dragon Balls don't work because one of them is fake, he's going to kill the elders, which makes all the Dragon Balls disappear, which everybody kind of realizes like they're in dire straits here. But before they have time to formulate a plan, Jace returns with Captain Ginyu, and they all start heading away from the battle area. Bulma gives the Dragon Radar and the Dragon Ball to Krillin to leave, and Goku says that he's going to take her back to the ship, and that's not going to be something that is going to fly with Jace and Ginyu because they're here to destroy this rebel scum. But Ginyu realizes he's going to take the small fries later and destroy the big fish now. So the standoff is set between Goku and Captain Ginyu as Bulma and Vegeta look on. But Vegeta was never really on their side, and he realizes that their advantage to all this is the woman. She's the one that came in to help. She's the one that has the capsule. She's the one that is the scientist. She's got the Dragon Radar. She is far more valuable to him than anyone else. So he quickly moves to grab Bulma and he flies off with her because he does not want to get entangled with Ginyu as Ginyu begins his attack on Goku. But Vegeta realizes now that Bulma is a little bit too much to handle in this. I mean, like far more than she was in the manga, and she pulls out a gun and points it at Vegeta, kicking him in the face and yelling at him that he better take her to a place where she can shower, change clothes, use the bathroom. And as she struggles against Vegeta, Vegeta tells her, all right, I promise, just stop moving, because she is becoming relentless. Vegeta is flying off in the distance, holding Bulma, who is seemingly just talking trash and nagging him the entire time, and you can just see the pain and suffering on his face right here. And Bulma says that this is the dumbest thing that he's done besides coming to Earth, because if his whole plan is to steal the Dragon Balls to make his own wish, well, Goku is going to beat him to it and beat the crap out of him. And the trash talk continues as she says and threatens him that if he brings her into one of his little pods where he's in, she's just going to scream the entire time in that little pod until his ears bleed. And Vegeta, I don't think, can take much more of this. He's just kind of like trying to tune her out, but she's just continuously talking shit. Honestly, Bulma continuously talking shit to Vegeta, who won't destroy her, is just giving me life right now, especially this murderous Vegeta that we have right in front of us. But it all turns around when Bulma realizes that there is something off in the distance, and that is Frieza's ship. She's staring at it and she gets excited. Even Vegeta notices that her excitement comes from the fact that she, in her heart, is a scientist. She's an adventurer. She loves new technology, so she wants to go inside the ship, and she's pulling Vegeta closer. Let's go inside, let's go inside. And Vegeta, at this point, I think that he's feeling a little too close to Bulma, but at the same time, there's something murderous about his stare right here, and that is when he sees one of Frieza's men just lounging around, and he blasts him into smithereens. Bulma begins to reprimand him, but he has a point. What were you thinking? We were gonna get a welcome party? Come on. Yeah, I mean, Bulma's gotta realize this is the enemy right here, and he had to kill this guy or else he's gonna warn everybody else. But if that was his plan, well, he kind of fucked up right here, because he kind of just drops right in the middle of all of Frieza's soldiers. And I honestly think this is part of my favorite panel right here. This one where Vegeta is just looking around him, surrounded, looking smug because he knows these guys can't kill him. And Bulma looking a little bit worried, but also kind of bringing herself a little bit closer to Vegeta because, you know, she is also in danger. And somebody shoots, but she shoots him before the blast can hit Vegeta, and giving him the stink eye of destruction. And Vegeta notices that she is warm-hearted, similar to Goku, because instead of shooting him in the face, she kind of just shoots his hand and gets it out of commission. And Vegeta slowly lets go of Bulma, and you can see right here that he's seems to be copping a feel. He declares that this is war, to Bulma's shock, as the rest of the soldiers unload on him, but unfortunately they are firing volleys at the Prince of all Saiyans. And Bulma continues to be soft-hearted as she shoots at their weapons, to Vegeta yelling at her, "What are you doing? They're trying to kill you. Stop trying to incapacitate them." And then Vegeta shoots a volley, killing 3 of them instantly. Bulma eyes the carnage and looks to see one survivor pointing his weapon right at Vegeta. And Bulma, almost crying, screams to him, "Tell him where are the Dragon Balls," and the guy does not listen and he fires right at Bulma. Now, Bulma is an Earthling, so the blast from these things would absolutely kill her and would rip right through her like a hot knife through butter. But fortunately for her, Vegeta saves her life, taking the shot and firing one back, killing this guy instantly. Bulma continues to yell at him and try to lecture him because she does bring a fair point. He could have really told them more about the Dragon Balls, but that probably would have required a lot of torture and a lot of time, which, you know, Vegeta might not have right now with Frieza lurking about. These are Frieza's men, and they are not just going to give up the Dragon Balls easily. With pain in his voice, he yells that these men will kill you, and your kindness that you learned on planet Earth can bring your destruction, because these men fear Frieza more than death itself. And Vegeta gives her a little monologue saying that the powerful will rule over the galaxy, it's kill or be killed. That's essentially how his life has always been. But Bulma really does believe that if Vegeta didn't come here with the intent to start killing them all, which he essentially basically did, he started firing them as soon as he entered the airspace around Frieza's ship, then they wouldn't have attacked him. They would have had a meaningful conversation with him about why they would not give up the Dragon Balls, which you guys know that wouldn't have worked, especially with Frieza's men. But Bulma worries that if he continues down this course of just attacking everything, then he will be killed. And this absolutely touches Vegeta's weak spot. What weak spot am I talking about? Well, in the monologue that he had with Goku right before he died, when Frieza had shot him with that fatal blow, he started talking about how Frieza ruled the planet, used him as a slave. He wasn't even a human or a sentient being to Frieza. Frieza just thought of them as monkeys. So there's a lot of pain there, and Vegeta has had a really tough life, and Vegeta even tells her this by grabbing onto Bulma and saying that planet Earth was essentially a paradise, and she's completely clueless as to what real life is and what the struggles of the universe are actually like, because Vegeta went through them, and Bulma had her adventures, but she doesn't know pain and suffering like Vegeta has. And as he gets his face closer to hers, he realizes that there is something drawing him to Bulma, and he gets closer, and it looks like he is about to kiss her, but he pulls back and says, "I'll take you to the restroom." And Bulma and him walk down the hallway as Bulma turns back to look at the carnage that they have just dished out. And as Bulma looks back, Vegeta looks back at Bulma, realizing that this woman is dangerous. His look is one of not only fear, anger, confusion, but there's this killing intent, like he's going to have to kill her so that way he doesn't have any weaknesses, because this woman is his weakness. This woman is the one that he could very well change for, and he's feeling something, but he doesn't trust himself to know what that is. The Dragon Balls were not in Frieza's room, and Vegeta senses that the two Earthling punks, Gohan and Krillin, are both on their way to the ship. So the Dragon Balls are around here somewhere, but maybe he shouldn't have killed every single guard and asked them some questions before he slaughtered them, because that is making this search so much harder, and that is another point to Bulma, who suggested this very thing last chapter. And as the awkward silence fills the air, Vegeta finally makes it to the armory, where they can get changed, and they must do so quickly before Frieza or more of his henchmen arrive. "We?" says Bulma sheepishly. And Vegeta has had it up to here with Bulma's complaints. Vegeta has no more time for them, but Bulma is sticking to her guns. They need separate changing rooms, but Vegeta continues to undress. There are no other rooms in the armory, and they need to get their equipment on rapidly. And Vegeta even taunts Bulma a little bit that a little bit of flesh, a little bit of skin is making her fumble this much. He even feels pride in his body as he says, "Well, after your recover from your shock, quickly change and suit up. So Vegeta thinks that she is in awe of the Saiyan Prince, but I think this is more of a privacy issue, and this is actually the exact same scene that we saw in the Namek Saga when Vegeta brought Gohan and Krillin onto the ship so they can change into new armor. So it's just that, but switched around with Vegeta and Bulma instead of him with the other two. Bulma's a little flustered, but she quickly lets go and decides, you know what, let's go ahead and get this over with. But before that, she is going to be the one pushing Vegeta over the edge as Bulma leans in and asks him, why did you decide to pull a solo rebellion without any allies? Which is essentially what Vegeta did in the Namek arc. He just kind of went off on his own. I guess he didn't have any other Saiyans left to join him in this rebellion, but I'm sure there are other races that would have loved to give it to Frieza, even though they would have been scared to join him. And Bulma finally has a desired effect as Vegeta is left there speechless. Bulma picks up a rag and starts wiping the dirt and grime off of Vegeta's face and basically states the obvious that he really wants to and she really wants to as well, but he won't do it. And then she throws the rag right in his face. The reason is, one reason only, he's too distracted. His thirst for revenge on Frieza and his injured pride to Goku. It's the reason he decided to go on this solo mission to begin with, and it is killing him, it is exhausting him, and essentially it is blinding him to everything else, specifically Bulma. Bulma absolutely at this point has a thing for Vegeta, and he has one to her too, but he won't do anything for her or with her because of the fact that he is wrapped up in his own feuds. And Vegeta asks, what is it that you suggest to get over all these obsessions? But Bulma knows there is nothing that can happen between them that is going to erase everything that he's striving for, because he's still so uptight and he has a mission. And as we get the best version of Bulma that I could possibly think of, which is a fusion of Namek Bulma and Saiyan Armor Bulma, she says that he just needs a break, that's all. He needs to relax and take a breather. And it seems that Vegeta kind of just spent this entire time watching Bulma get dressed because she's surprised he's not dressed yet, and of course it's because Bulma was seducing him essentially. And Bulma thinks it's funny that, you know, he's calling her a seductress, and Vegeta kind of says the obvious that she really is crazy, and Bulma affirms that, yup, you have no idea. But just at that moment, Vegeta realizes that the other two are almost here. And so we get spunky Bulma back saying, I guess it's time for her to resume her role as the damsel in distress, essentially the hostage that Vegeta took away from Goku. But Vegeta simply just saying follow me gets Bulma to just kind of follow him, so it doesn't really seem like she's putting up much of a fight. If she really wanted to, she could run away, but I don't think that she wants to do that, like, at all. Bulma's a little puzzled that Vegeta's actually going to wish for eternal life, and Vegeta says that is the only way to defeat Frieza, which honestly would have been a really cool story arc to see if Vegeta actually got that at some point. I always wondered, what if he wished for eternal life? How would he be? What would he be like? It is a really interesting question, and exactly which way his progression would have gone through Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super with eternal life would have been interesting as well. Could he self-destruct and just come back to life, or be alive after a self-destruction? I don't know. Vegeta hits the nail right on the head, saying that I guess you guys only came here to revive the Earthlings that he defeated. Yup, and my ex-boyfriend, which leads to an awkward pause to Bulma saying it's a complicated story, which it kind of is, but at least she said X, so that's all Vegeta needed to hear. Of course, Vegeta would say that's a waste of a wish. Not only wishing back weaklings doesn't make any sense to him, but wishing back her ex also does not make any sense to him. At least now it doesn't. And as he opens a door, Bulma thinks that she's getting a brand new shiny jail cell, but realizes that that's not where Vegeta took her at all. Surprised, Bulma yells, "It's the engine room," and she begins to glow again, shocked shocked that Vegeta brought her to the marvel that is the center of this spaceship. Remember, Bulma is a scientist, and that's something that I really like about this interpretation of her, that she reminds me a lot of that My Hero Academia chick, the one that makes gadgets for all the heroes. Like, she's so excited about her work. That's exactly what she reminds me of. And Bulma has just the thing to get all the information she needs from this ship. A portable computer desk with a lab attached. She brought everything, essentially. And as Vegeta calls her mad scientist, she's just going to connect her computer to this machine, get all the data that she needs, and that way she gets the tech and all the schematics, and she can possibly do the same thing or do these types of spaceships on Earth. So she alone could reverse engineer these things and actually advance the human race well beyond their years, and it just shows how much of a important character Bulma actually is. Bulma starts setting up her lab, and she opens the door, and Vegeta catches a glimpse of a romance novel, and then Bulma gets his attention and thanks him for bringing her here. Remember, she is his captive, and she was super excited to see the spaceship, so he knew she would love to see all this sort of stuff. So Vegeta is putting her needs and everything about her and her excitement in front of his cause, which is getting the Dragon Balls and making sure they're out of dodge before Frieza gets there. And as Bulma is ready to start reverse engineering Frieza's ship, she asked Vegeta to see if he wants to help her, but Vegeta is missing. So she has to do it solo, and as she's going through the compartments, she starts talking about how Vegeta is really sad, and he is a guy that just wants to punch his pain away. And ultimately, that's his issue. He needs to get over that, get past that, and move on. But as she's thinking this, the ship begins to shake and begins to rumble. She finds the compartment she's looking for, opens it up, and sees something that she did not expect to see on Frieza's ship. And boom, outside, Vegeta is taking care of Jace quite handily. Now, Vegeta versus Jace is one of my favorite moments in the Namek arc, because Vegeta found a member of the Ginyu Force that he could single-handedly take out, and the attacks and abilities and just the whole Jason Voorhees presence that he had on the ship when he was tracking down Jace was one of my favorite moments. But in this, he's basically taking his anger and frustration, his uptightness on poor Jace, as he's thinking about Bulma, who is, again, getting under his skin, telling him that he's shaking, and he says no, he's not. She calls him boring, and as he blasts Jace to smithereens, he says, I'm not boring. At this point, Ginyu has already taken Goku's body, so we have gone a little bit forward here in the Namek saga, but he's surprised that Vegeta has just killed Jace right in front of him, and Vegeta punches Ginyu Goku right in the gut, saying, I'm not boring. And unfortunately for Goku's body, Vegeta completely decimates him, punching him, beating him, kicking him, slamming him into the ground as he continues to think about Bulma. It gets crazy and savage to the point that Goku is yelling at Vegeta, don't kill him, because that is his body. He's going to be stuck in Ginyu's body if that happens. And as Vegeta comes down trying to execute Ginyu and kill him with the final blow, yeah, it's time to change, and this is exactly what happened in the actual anime. Ginyu uses his technique to try to switch bodies with Vegeta. And just what Bulma said came to fruition. She says, you're too distracted, and he absolutely was in this fight. Too distracted thinking about Bulma, not about the fight, and that's why he was about to lose his body until Goku ends up jumping in the way, so that way he can go back to his original body. Ginyu is back, but he still has the ability to switch bodies, and even though he's wounded, he can still try to take Vegeta. So as he begins to power up, his legs get shot up right under him, to everybody's shock. Right through the main ship window, Bulma is standing right there with an alien rifle, and she winks at Vegeta. Bulma did not expect earlier to find hidden alien weaponry. I think mainly because she didn't think that Frieza's army needed like guns, standard issue guns like this. They have the arm guns that most of them use, so it probably was a shock. Also, a lot of them can use ki blast, so there probably isn't much use for this, but if there is some use for this and it is hidden away, I guarantee you it is a very strong gun. And so she shoots a flash grenade right in front of Ginyu, who begins to try to change his body again. and this time it works out just like the anime. Goku picks up the frog and throws it, leading to the body change that we all know and love, Ginyu Frog. And now that Ginyu's a frog, everyone kind of seems a little shocked as to what just happened, and they look over to see Bulma giving them the victory thumbs up. And even Krillin says she's going to brag about this for a long time. Bulma absolutely is a monster in this manga. It's almost like she's like night and day with her counterpart in the anime, where she's much more of a damsel in distress. And this one, she isn't really afraid of much. She's much more of an active player, and she even shot Ginyu, a high-level Dragon Ball character at the time, with a assault rifle just to get him to stop trying to change and transform. So yes, I love this version of Bulma. She is absolutely capable of taking care of herself on this planet, and I absolutely love it. And as Ginyu hops away, it's going to take at least an hour for Goku to heal, but that's way too long because Frieza could be there by then. And even Bulma says, as she's been going through all the databases, there is another tank out there that they could use, but Vegeta says there was, but he destroyed it when Zarbon tried to keep him prisoner there. So they're going to have to wait for him to heal, and heal fast, hopefully. And that's when Vegeta thinks about the Super Saiyan legend out loud, leading to Bulma asking what's going on, and he says it's complicated. The same exact thing she said when he asked about Yamcha. Krillin states the obvious and says that he's surprised that Vegeta is helping them and that he's essentially taking care of Bulma. And Bulma says, well, Son asked him to help and take care of her so that way she would be safe. If you guys remember, that's not what happened at all, and Bulma essentially just lied to her own friends for Vegeta, the villain of this story, or one of the villains of this story. So why did Bulma do this? Why is she lying for Vegeta? It is quite simple. Bulma reciprocates her feelings for Vegeta as well, and I think that she has fallen in love with him, as this little white lie has shown us. Even Vegeta is looking at her like, what are you talking about, woman? So right now the story has built up their relationship in an organic and normal way, and it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel like they're just there. It feels like there has been a lot of tension with these two, and now they're at a place where Bulma would even lie to her own friends about what Vegeta did, which is essentially kidnap her. But Bulma wants him to be part of the crew, so she lied for him, and I definitely like the way this chapter is starting out. Krillin looks around in awe of the technology in Frieza's ship. This is an alien spaceship, so he should be in awe. I mean, we kind of just glance over the fact that this is an alien high-tech spaceship in the anime and the manga. I like that they're taking the time to have the Earthlings' mind being blown as to what is possible in this spaceship. But as Vegeta is getting armor for the other two, Krillin looks on the ground and sees and finally notices that Bulma's original clothing is on the ground, and Bulma is wearing just her jacket but with Saiyan armor as well, so she had to have gotten undressed in this room as well as Vegeta. So the big mystery of the last chapter is, why was there like a normal looking alien rifle inside Frieza's ship? And Bulma asked Vegeta that same thing, and that is something that was part of a game that Frieza played with the weaklings in his army. And essentially what would happen is that he would hide random weapons around the ship, and the ones that were smart enough, crafty enough to find the weapons stayed in the army. But if you did not find these weapons, if you did not care enough or search adequately, then Frieza would execute you. And that's just a reminder to the other two as to who they're actually facing, who they're fighting against. But it also shows that Bulma is crafty enough to be in Frieza's army because she was the one that found the rifle. Now that the whole squad is all geared up, Krillin decides that it is time to go and find the password to call the dragon. So he's gonna go to Guru's place, and hopefully Frieza's not there. In the anime, he was there and he does fight Nail, but then Nail kind of holds him still for a while and keeps him busy to buy everyone time. So he's going to find the password, and Bulma wishes him luck. But before Krillin leaves, he wants to ask Bulma something, but then decides that no, he's just crazy. His mind is playing tricks on him, and he doesn't think that there's anything going on between these two, and it kind of looks like they're together, like as they're standing side by side. And even Krillin probably feels like a tension between them. He probably feels something happened, something was going on, there's something there, and Krillin even senses it. But you know what, he's just has his mind in the clouds. He's thinking crazy thoughts because Vegeta killed her ex-boyfriend. Like, why would she fall in love with him? Why would there be anything between these two? So Bulma decides to go off into the ship and look for more technology, look for more research, and you can see here that she's got the rifle slung on her back, and it looks like an AK-47, like a space AK-47. Looks pretty dope. And Gohan asks Vegeta to help him look for the Dragon Balls, and Vegeta just kind of turns around and follows Bulma. And even Gohan feels like there's something weird going on, but he's like, you know what, adults are probably just weird. And this is the issue with what's going on with Vegeta's mentality right now, because he is, in this panel, shows that he is extremely 100% distracted by Bulma. He just followed her out of the room. I remember feeling this feeling towards Rose, that I was kind of like a puppy dog following her when we first started dating, because I was that infatuated, and it looks like Vegeta has the same thing for Bulma. So again, very good writing, very good storytelling in this, showing that Vegeta is losing sight of everything else and wants Bulma for himself. Bulma's ready to put this hour to good use while Goku heals and learn more about the ship, but Vegeta needs to talk to her about the fact that she lied about their situation, and Bulma says it's just a little white lie, let's all get along in this situation. She knows that they stand a better chance together than apart, and Vegeta gives a very weak laugh and then falls backward and passes out. Remember, at this point in the anime, Vegeta does fall asleep in the ship, waiting for Goku to regenerate, and that is when Gohan and Krillin are able to sneak off with the Dragon Balls. I always thought that was kind of strange. Like, you never see Vegeta falling asleep at the wheel at any other point in Dragon Ball Z, and so it was kind of out of character for him just to like go to sleep and not really pay attention to everything else that was going on. It was definitely something that Akira Toriyama used to move the plot along, so Gohan and Krillin will take the Dragon Balls away. In this aspect, it's a lot more believable. He's exhausted. He followed Bulma out of the other room, so Bulma was the actual distraction, but he passes out because he is tired. So I definitely like the way that this did it a lot better than the master Akira Toriyama. As Vegeta sleeps, Bulma crouches down and just kind of stares at him for a little bit, almost reaching out, trying to touch him, but pulls away again because she knows there's something there, but she's not ready to have it out in the open just yet. Which I also very much like, that this isn't just a one-sided thing from Vegeta to Bulma. Bulma also has a tremendous attraction to Vegeta. As Vegeta sleeps, Bulma is messing around with the ship, getting all sorts of technology that could push the story forward if this story continues past Namek, where Bulma takes all this technology back to Earth, and Vegeta wakes up finding a blanket on him, but also finding error alarms everywhere. Bulma probably really went deep diving into the ship, but he realizes that everything is pitch black. Why is it so dark in here? He runs out asking what that noise is, why is it so dark, and sees Bulma grabbing her and asking her what's going on. And it looks like Bulma has been kind of fumbling in the dark, not knowing exactly what the hell is going on as well, but realizes that it's the sky that turned dark, not the ship. Vegeta looks out the window and sees that not only is the sky dark, but there is a huge monster outside. And this is all weird because there are multiple suns on the planet, and he's never seen the dragon being summoned, so he has no idea what this is until he realizes that no, this can't be. It is the dragon. And Bulma in the back, I think she realizes that Krillin must have been the one to summon the dragon behind Vegeta's back, and she even looks a little bit like she's guilty because she was with the Earthlings. She came with the Earthlings. And of course, that is when Vegeta starts blaming her for this, that she distracted him, it's her fault. Bulma reassures him that all she's been doing is trying to save everybody. She rescued him twice actually, and then rescued her friends, so it's not actually her fault. And he can throw a huge temper tantrum if he wants, but there is no way that she is going to take the blame on this one. Vegeta doesn't have time for this, and that is when he realizes something that Bulma, who is not a ki user, cannot. And that is that Frieza is almost here. And as Porunga looks down on Gohan, Krillin, and Dende yells back to ask your wishes before Frieza comes. Obviously, they can all feel Frieza coming over the horizon. And as this is going on, Vegeta grabs Bulma and carries her away, running down the halls, looking frantically for something. Bulma yells frantically behind her, yelling at Vegeta, saying that she needs to help Goku. She needs to fix his tank, because if she doesn't, he will not be fully healed. But Vegeta says forget about Kakarot, because he is looking for something far more valuable. And as Vegeta kicks open walls looking for whatever he's looking for, he yells at Bulma that for the sake of the weaklings that betrayed him, one of the wishes that they're making better be his. He needs to run out the clock to get Bulma somewhere, and at the same time get back to make his wish. And as Dende wishes Piccolo back to life, the events of the original timeline seem to be going smoothly. Honestly, I do like this wish a lot because it brings back the original Dragon Balls from Earth, but at the same time, I think that bringing Piccolo to the planet is a little bit of a wasted wish. Even though he does go toe-to-toe with Frieza for a time, it only buys him enough time to get Goku into the mix, and Piccolo, in my opinion, doesn't really make a difference after that. On King Kai's planet, Piccolo is finally revived as his halo disappears, and we get a glimpse of Bulma as she looks frantically at what Vegeta was looking for, and that is Frieza's own personal pod. Kami returns back to life, and Porunga tells them that their first wish has been granted. Now state your second wish. Bulma finally realizes what Vegeta has been doing this entire time, and she yells that she is not leaving. Obviously, she does not have the strength to fight off Vegeta. Vegeta is trying to save Bulma and get her away from the situation as far as possible, as far as she can go, because he knows that she can't do anything more here. She can't fight off Frieza. There's nothing that she can do to help. She'll just get in the way. And Bulma tries to pardon her friends, saying that they're just desperate. That's why they stole the Dragon Balls away from Vegeta, and that if they work together, they can defeat Frieza. And just because she's not powerful like Vegeta doesn't make her useless. Bulma is breaking down at this point, crying because leaving leaves her friends behind and leaves Vegeta behind in the hands of a monster like Frieza, and there is no guarantee that any of them can defeat him, really. Honestly, nobody knew at this point that Super Saiyan was officially going to be a thing. Vegeta gets her attention by saying, "Woman, lend me some of that strength," and he grabs her, pulls Bulma in for a kiss, to her original surprise, but she ends up kissing him back. The kiss that has been built up throughout this entire manga thus far is finally happening. Their love on planet Namek. Of course, Vegeta made the first move, but it's not something that Bulma hasn't been thinking about since the very beginning. It's a very tender moment between the two because Vegeta knows he's saying goodbye. And the fact that Vegeta ends up really dying at the end of this whole thing and then coming back after, but we didn't know that part at that point. But yeah, he ends up dying on planet Namek. This moment is a lot more sad when you reflect on that. And the kiss was a sufficient enough distraction as he throws Bulma back in the pod, closing it as she bangs against the door. Vegeta smashes through the hole in the ship, making it larger, flying straight toward Krillin and Gohan as Krillin yells back, "Vegeta is coming," and they ask for Piccolo to be brought to planet Namek. The pod begins to levitate. Obviously, it's getting out of dodge, and Bulma keeps banging on the control panel, trying to break out of her imprisonment. But Bulma has definitely gotten to the Saiyan Prince as he is trying to focus on his goals, and he can't because all he's thinking about is Bulma. But Vegeta's looking out for Bulma doesn't go anywhere as she accidentally opens up the pod, throwing her out of it, and now she is back in harm's way. Vegeta continues to fly toward the dragon because he needs to get to the brats to stop them before they use up all their wishes, as Porunga easily wishes Piccolo to Planet Namek. They don't see Piccolo anywhere around, so they start yelling, same thing as the anime, and Dende's like, wait, you wanted to bring him here to this spot? Because he would have needed to be extremely specific to the dragon, and he was not. Bulma flings on the floor, obviously because of the fact that she just kind of tumbled out of the pod, and she is still going to be a major player in the story, but as she rolls, Vegeta finally lands on ground zero where Porunga is at. Similar to the anime, there is one wish left. Will Vegeta get eternal life in this version of the story? Vegeta is big mad because he comes up on Krillin, grabbing him by his armor, and he knows that Krillin is the culprit behind stealing the Dragon Balls and trying to take all the wishes for themselves. Vegeta, gripping up on Krillin, yells at him, telling him that the woman wanted him to be merciful to them for this betrayal, but he is at the end of his patience, and I think Krillin finally realized that betraying Vegeta while Vegeta was alone with Bulma is not probably the smartest thing that he done, because Vegeta can take out all his anger, all his frustration on Bulma, and so Krillin realizes that he actually betrayed not only Vegeta, but Bulma as well. And Vegeta takes this as leverage, telling Krillin that, oh, now you think about Bulma, well, you weren't thinking about her when you were stealing the Dragon Balls, insinuating that he has done something horrifying to the Earthling female. And he doesn't sugarcoat it. He says that Krillin is out of reach to save her, but Gohan thinks back on the way that Vegeta and Bulma were acting on the ship, and how Bulma seemed to have Vegeta on a leash. And Gohan was also peeking in on them when Vegeta fell asleep and Bulma was looking at him with love in her eyes. And Gohan at the time thought, again, adults are very weird, but he realizes now that Vegeta is lying. He's trying to get a rise out of Krillin because they stole the Dragon Balls. Gohan plays along and tells Krillin that they're going to use their Dragon Balls to get Bulma back, and they have one more wish left that they can give to Vegeta, essentially. And Krillin is not up for that plan, but it works out the exact same way as it did in the anime, and Vegeta throws him aside and picks up Little Green and forces him to do this wish. And now that Krillin's thought a little bit more about it, it is the best plan that they have, because they can take Frieza on alone. There is no guarantee that Piccolo is going to take Frieza on his own, and so there is one more wish left, and might as well let Vegeta have it. Vegeta is finally going to get what he wants. He is happy, but at the same time, he knows that if he had told them the truth that he tried to save Bulma, they wouldn't have believed it. But it's a good thing that Bulma is far away from here. Unfortunately for this situation to have worked, Bulma would have had to stay in the pod and left with the pod when it was leaving, but Bulma ended up hitting all the buttons, flying out of the pod, and fucking herself up a lot more than she probably would have had if Vegeta hadn't thrown her in there, and now she's running through Frieza's ship. Bulma legit messed herself up big time, and she even is bleeding from her head. That's how hard she hit herself when she flew out of the ship, and we see that Piccolo has finally made it to Namek, and he sees the dragon before him. So again, every piece is aligning the same way that it did in the anime, minus the relationship between Bulma and Vegeta. We even have Piccolo getting stopped by Nail, because Nail is about to give Piccolo the last bit of his energy and his ki. That way Piccolo can become strong enough to be a threat to Frieza. And all this is happening at the same time. Nail offering the key to Piccolo, Vegeta realizing that they are too late, and Bulma running through the ship, falling and struggling to get back to her feet as Vegeta realizes that Frieza has finally made it to ground zero. He is hovering behind them and he is pissed. Frieza congratulates Vegeta, well done, I couldn't have done it without you. But unfortunately, it is time for Frieza to take out the trash. And Bulma struggles to crawl toward what looks like a mechanic's kit, with binoculars. I see a screwdriver there. Not exactly sure what her endgame is, how she is going to help in this situation. Is she going to be more of a distraction for Frieza, or, as a lot of people were saying in the comment section in the last video, is she going to be the catalyst for Vegeta to transform into a Super Saiyan before Goku? Last time on Vegeta falls in love with Bulma on Namek. As the Z Fighters find themselves cornered by Frieza on the barren wasteland of a planet, Bulma tries to figure out a way to help the rest of them so she's not just sitting around useless, and Vegeta faces off against his slave owner. Matching the tyrant's power blow for blow, the unthinkable happens and Guru passes away, leaving the Dragon Balls inert. Well, you blew it. All of us three can beat you, even if you transformed. How sad, Vegeta. You've become a dreamer. However, I just don't have transformation in my disposal. I have 3. Surely Frieza must be bluffing. 3 transformations on top of his already monstrous power. How strong is this demon? What a beautiful expression you're making. Whatever or whoever was bringing you luck, it's no longer able to help you. Struggling to be useful, Bulma begins to think of everyone who has accompanied her on this journey. Krillin, who believed in the fact that Bulma would be useful there. Gohan, who was just a child, decided to come along on this dangerous journey. And Vegeta, despite his selfishness, despite him being who he is, showed her great kindness and care, and she needs to be useful for them. Placing her work goggles on and carrying a toolbox, if might is my only solution, Sun's recovery is my only weapon. Gathering supplies, she heads towards the broken medical machine, using this tank to fix and help Goku's tank, that way he can recover faster. Bulma begins to drill and work furiously, making sure she gets all the parts she needs to fix Goku's machine, but time is running out, and as she works and works, she hears behind her, "Let me guess, you're busy. This is really important, I need to finish this one last thing. I know, stop avoiding me." Her concussion may have been too much, and she tells herself physically that she needs to stop. She does not have time to hallucinate, even though she can see that blood is oozing out of her forehead. She does not have the time right now to think of her relationship with Yamcha, and it seems like we got just a glimpse and insight into Bulma and Yamcha's dynamic. Bulma constantly working on her machines and her technology, and ignoring Yamcha at the same time.
Well, I'm going to have to dump you.
I'd like that.
She wants to double check, make sure everyone's okay, and she uses the goggles to do so, only to see that Frieza has transformed and the Z Fighters are on the back foot. This is not good. Krillin and Gohan plus Vegeta all look worried over this new transformation as Frieza and his new form begin to charge an energy blast, but gets stopped right at the last moment by none other than Piccolo. He has made it to the battlefield.
Yep, you're a lucky luck boy.
Thank God Piccolo is here. Oh, okay, I must have hit my head pretty hard if I'm rooting for that guy. I gotta hurry, and Bulma runs down the corridor trying to save as many lives as possible, the lives of her friends. As she begins to run, she hears Yamcha again. "Please tell me, what did I do?" And it looks like Bulma is feeling a little bit of guilt over her recent feelings towards Vegeta and the fact that she basically kissed Vegeta and cheated on Yamcha. This concussion is getting worse, and she yells at Yamcha, "Leave me alone, I have to do this, I have to fix this," as she runs towards Sun's machine. She begins her hard work, working furiously, but this alien technology, this is nothing like the machines at home, so this is a steep learning curve, even for a genius like her. She feels dismayed and even tells Sun, "I'm not like you, I can't do this." But this isn't her own words, this is something that Yamcha has told her in the past. "Bulma, I'm not like you, I can't do this. I'm not your toy for you to ditch when you're bored." As Bulma snaps on him, "If you hate it so much," and she stops herself from finishing that memory. "Stop. My head is about to explode." But with a team like Krillin, Gohan, Vegeta, and Piccolo, the situation should be resolved right now. Frieza should be defeated. This guy is the worst.
This is the worst.
Allow me to introduce you to my last transformation. Injure me with a fatal wound and then heal me with the Namekian powers. It's my only chance to become a Super Saiyan. Just do it, you coward. Heal Vegeta now. I hope you're ready to face me, Vegeta. It's done. Please, please, work. It's working. I'm healed. Son, look what you did. I'm sorry, Bulma. I'm in a hurry. This is no way to treat a lady after all the effort I did to heal you. But never mind that. Beat Frieza up now. Got it. And with that, Goku heads towards the battlefield, and Bulma, exhausted, falls to her knees and thinks to herself, finally, it'll be over this time. I couldn't do it. I wasn't strong enough. Die, Vegeta. Vegeta is astounded that Goku has come to the battlefield because his recovery was supposed to take much longer, unless... Vegeta, if we hurry, she can... Shut up! Kakarot, stop! Whisper, don't give him another toy to play with. Kakarot? Another Saiyan to dispose of? Krillin and Gohan know what comes next, but Piccolo senses something different from Goku as Frieza blasts Goku with his Emperor Finger Beam Cannon, and Goku easily blocks it. He just knocked all my attacks. It serves you right. You'll finally be eliminated by the Super Saiyan. I'm glad to be able to see this. Vegeta couldn't fight you. He couldn't even move. You didn't have to do this. He annoyed me, so I disposed of him. Kakarot, you can't be like the Earthlings. You have to be merciless. You have to be cold, strong. It's the only way to survive. Bulma, watching the man that she has had feelings for taking his last breaths, sends shivers down her spine, leaves her there frozen like ice. Kakarot, our home planet Vegeta was not destroyed by a meteor impact. It was Frieza. Everyone was killed. Your parents, my father, the king, after following everything he asked, because he feared the Super Saiyan was going to be born among us. Please, Frieza must die by a Saiyan's hands, and... Vegeta! There you are. You have plenty of guts. Bulma removes her goggles. She doesn't understand. He was the bad guy. Why? Finally, with such an intimate goodbye, I wonder, were you too close? Bulma kicks everything around her. Is this the best she could have done?
I think I understand you now. You weren't grieving over your own death, or because our home planet was destroyed. You were grieving because he turned you into what he wanted you to be. You never had a chance to be anything else.
But yes, she did everything she could have, everything right. Holding Vegeta's blanket, she refuses to believe it. The man that she has fallen in love with on Namek. No, she refuses. Well, shall we reconvene? Goku and Frieza clash in a monstrous display of power, brutality, and technique. You soon will see how ridiculous it was to challenge me. Or so he thought.
All right, it's done.
Release it!
be defeated like this.
Frieza's final eradication, Gohan and Krillin can both celebrate their father and friend's victory. Now that this battle is finally over, they need to get back to the ship to go home. But just then Krillin remembers that Bulma is somewhere around the planet. They need to find her first. But Goku already knows where she's at. She's in Frieza's ship. Piccolo agrees with Goku. He, throughout the battle, has been feeling a very weak key signature coming from Frieza's ship, so perhaps that is her. That is when Krillin remembers Vegeta's words to him. How Vegeta was ostracizing him because he thought of Bulma as an afterthought. He didn't really think of her in the real time, which is something that Vegeta at the time was doing. Guys, I know this isn't the right moment, but besides our friends, we should consider reviving Vegeta. Are you insane? After what happened on Earth and now here? I know, but he tried to help us in his own twisted way, but if Bulma is in there, then he didn't even harm her at all. There might be a speck of good somewhere, right? Now, if he blows this chance, that's on him. You're a very good guy, Krillin. But let's get home first, alright? Right. Well, at this point, Earth will become the home of rascals and rebellious aliens, with humans included. So he really lied about Bulma's whereabouts. I'm confused, but relieved. Oh, Lord. Yes, the Prince of Monkeys had some good in him, but I do not. Run, you two! No one will come out of here alive!
Frieza, stop this!
Help me!
Where's Son? I'm not strong like you were. How am I still here? I have to go home. I'll be fine. Leave it to us. There's nothing dangerous. There's nothing dangerous. There's nothing dangerous. But you're...
I can survive in the vacuum of space. Let's find out if the same can be said for Saiyans. This planet will die! No!
King Kai feels this surge of energy coming from Universe 7 as Yamcha asks what's going on, and the news isn't good. Frieza has destroyed planet Namek. I should have been there, but because I was weak, If you don't like it, get out. I never treated you like a toy. I was just expecting much more from you. Don't you have any ambitions? You become too adrift. Don't you have pride or something? Anything? Now you nitpick how I pursue my goals? Why aren't you ever happy with what we got? I just wanted to live life to the fullest. Why did Frieza do it? With Goku cornering Frieza, humiliating him, Frieza had no other choice but to destroy planet Namek. But as King Kai is explaining this, Kami interrupts King Kai. Annoyed at this interruption, King Kai explodes on Kami, yelling at him to keep it down while he's explaining things to the rest of the crew. But as he's yelling at him, he realizes that Kami's still alive. That means planet Namek is still here. After Frieza fails to destroy planet Namek, Yamcha yells at King Kai. He needs to talk to Bulma. Hurry, this is a matter of time. They have to ask for her help. The blinding flash from Frieza's attack sets Bulma up in an air of confusion. She did not see what's going on the ground, does not know what the situation is, and for a second there, she thought she was dead. Bulma! Where are you? Bulma! And why is your voice different? What are you talking about, Bulma? It's me, Yamcha. Yamcha? Bulma, I promise after I revive, I'll take you somewhere nice. Anywhere you want to go, I swear. The more luxurious restaurant, whatever you want. I'll do exactly what you tell me, and thanks Yamcha, but you need to tell me what's going on. Bulma, right before the explosion, we've been trying to convince Goku to defeat Frieza right away, but he's ignoring us. It's like the only thing he can think of is defeating Frieza emotionally and physically. Did Gohan die? No, Frieza killed Krillin. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You were right, I should have listened. This isn't your fault. We're trying to change each other by force. So much we forgot how to even be friends. When this is over, we can be friends again if you'd like. Bulma, what are you saying? King Kai rushes them. We don't have all day. This connection is not to work out your relationship. You said this is a matter of time. We need all the time we can get. Alright, I'll speak to him. King Kai uses his telepathic connection to link Bulma to Goku, hoping that she can sway the Super Saiyan to defeat Frieza and leave the planet. Whatever it is, I'm not interested. You better not be ignoring me, son Goku. It's enough. End it now, Bulma confronts Goku. Bulma, get out of here. This planet is about to burst. Don't change the... Right now, Frieza is powering up to his utmost limit, and he has to be beaten up this way so he gets what he deserves. He killed Krillin. We can't revive him anymore. He killed Vegeta, even though I thought he deserved it. Frieza won't stop until everyone you love dies. Protect her. Protect her. It was cruel. He was shot in the heart as he was already weak. Yes, I know. I saw it. Bulma, if you saw it, you can't be settled with that. Son, it's enough. I just don't think... Hey, monkey! Are you done with your prayers? I'm ready. How would you like to die? Quick and fast like the Earthling? Or sweet and slow like the Prince of the Monkeys? Son, do what you gotta do. This is against the entire plan, the entire reason that Yamcha had King Kai connect Bulma with Goku. They want Goku to finish it and be done with it, not continue the fight any further. Shut up. If you think we're going to be bullied into a corner by that monster, you're dead wrong. What are you smiling about? You've killed hundreds of thousands, so many, but all of them have friends or someone to mourn them. I think you're the first one I met. I'm certain no one will mourn you after you die. Bulma questions if Piccolo is alive, but King Kai is not giving up the answer after what she just pulled, but Bulma is extremely persuasive. Even though King Kai cannot see it yet, what Bulma did is the best option. She, of course, knows Goku inside and out, knows the situation because she's on the ground. She made a tactical call, if not an emotional one. Knowing now that Piccolo is still alive, Bulma hatches up a plan to use the Earth's Dragon Balls to wish to revive the creator of the Dragon Balls here on Namek. There is one more wish to be made, so Bulma's plan is sound. Even Kami thinks so because Guru died of a broken heart due to the destruction of all his children. The rest of the King Kai crew decides to give up their spot to get rescued and revived now. That way, everybody else can be revived that Frieza destroyed. And so Bulma's off to find Dende's body. That way, when he is revived, he can just make the wish automatically. King Kai is worried because Bulma is heavily injured and they're not even sure if this is gonna work. Bulma is certain that this right here is their best option and jumps on a speeder bike heading straight for Dende's corpse. Bulma has to maneuver herself around the severe explosions and seismic activity of a dying Namek, which lets her reflect on her last stunt on a motorcycle when she had to save Vegeta's skin and rope him onto the motorbike. The moment where this story started, the moment where Vegeta took notice of this Earth woman. And in no time, she finds the body of Dende. Part 1 of the plan is complete, but in this moment, she can't help but notice the mound that has the body of Vegeta, the grave that Goku dug for his long-lost adversary. But she has a mission to complete, something important that she needs to get finished, and it is time sensitive. I need to find Bulma and get to the ship. Bulma! Gohan, me and your dad have a plan, but we need to be where the Dragon Balls used to be. I remember, follow me! But with the planet cracking and seismic fissures destroying the surface near the tomb, Bulma has no choice but to give Dende to Gohan and begin heading toward Vegeta's body lest it be destroyed by the destruction of planet Namek. Be a good boy and follow what Dende tells you when he's revived. See you on Earth. That was a cool outfit. With only seconds to spare, Bulma is heading straight toward the body, hopefully not late enough for it to be destroyed. With this concussion flaring up and giving her flashbacks when she was at death's door by the Ginyu Force and Vegeta saved her. Your wish has been granted. I'm alive. This blanket. Woman! Stupid woman. What did you do? This is bad. It worked. What nonsense are you saying? We need to get out of here. Hey, this isn't funny. Wake up, please. You! Vegeta, stop! Children, this is your great elder. You must hurry to the dragon fast. Yes, sir. Run, she's alive. Huh? This power. Keep punching him, Kakarot. To the right, to the left. My luck has changed, Super Saiyan. Gohan, stop. Change that wish so only Frieza and me are in Namek. King Kai is really tired of Goku's bullshit, but Goku insists, and even though King Kai wants to save his pupil, he needs to listen to him and do what he asks. And so before Frieza arrives at the last moment, Dende changes the wish. Everybody will be transported off Earth except for Goku and Frieza. No, you won't, Frieza. Little one, say the wish. I wish for immortality. Your wish shall be granted. I will transport everyone to Earth but Frieza and Son Goku. Wait, it means Kakarot. Kakarot. I vow the power of the Super Saiyan will be mine. Have fun, Frieza. What's this? Is the great Frieza shaking because of one lonely Saiyan? Good. Good. I'm sorry, my child. He wished so to protect you. You all listen up. If that Namekian brat doesn't heal this woman, I'll blow up this planet. Piccolo also needs to be healed. The Dragon Balls, I don't fucking care. Obey and heal her. Dende asks the assistance of 2 more Namekians, that way he can increase his healing power and heal both Piccolo and Bulma simultaneously. Vegeta is urgently pushing him to do Bulma first. The rest of the Namekians tell Vegeta that they can feel the slain spirits of their siblings on his hands, so they ask him to drop the woman and step away, to which Vegeta 100% obliges. Is this enough space for you? Alright, let's hurry. And another thing, she better not know what I did or I will personally kill you, brat. Okay. I'm okay. Gohan, we're on Earth, right? We're Son. Dad decided to stay on Namek. He what? I risked my life and he decided to stay in the doomed planet? I can explain what happened. Who's there? That voice. Is that you, Yamcha? Well, Frieza was injured by his own attack. Goku pitied him and spared him. Frieza, angered by this act, attacked him again. and Goku finished him off. Yamcha, where's Son? Goku tried to escape on one of the ships. The planet exploded before he could escape. I'm sorry, Bulma. Bulma, where's Dad? He couldn't make it in time. I see. Bulma begins to devise a plan to use the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish Goku back to life, but Guru tells her and the rest of them that if he did that, he would be wished back into the space where he last was, which is empty space. It's the rubble between a destroyed planet, and Goku would die immediately. Why don't you use your heads for once? I don't know anything about souls, but you can try to bring them back to life after you transport their souls here. That's brilliant! Thank you so much. The Namekians could stay at my home and we could wish our friends back and protect them. Hey, don't get carried away. Me being carried away? Didn't you almost go nuts after I passed out and attacked Frieza? You heard all that? Yup. And how supportive you were of Son too? Just kill me again. Are you sure you guys could host all of us in your home? Of course! If you stay here and are found, you will cause a sensation. Knowing that his people are finally safe and in good hands, Guru gives the elder position away to his most trusted elder and leaves the planet and existence once and for all. And as Bulma begins to make the preparations for all Namekians to go back to Capsule Corp, Nail and Piccolo say goodbye to Guru once and for all. Thank you. You can keep the jacket. Where are you going, Vegeta? You got nowhere to go, right? Well, you don't have money to stay anywhere, right? Well, we have lots of food. I bet you eat just like Son. Don't you dare compare me with him. Just don't do anything naughty. I know I'm hard to resist. Vulgar woman. She couldn't say it any louder. Vegeta sits in his new room at Capsule Corp, staring at the Saiyan armor, the warrior's drip he wore on planet Namek, the one that he was buried in and resurrected in, thinking back at those last words that he will become a Super Saiyan, that he will not let Kakarot surpass him in this strength, or this new mysterious young Saiyan do the exact same thing. He will catch up to them if it is the last thing that he does. We have fast forwarded past the events of the Mecha Frieza arc, past future Trunks. We are now in the time skip between Planet Namek and the Android Saga. Vegeta has made himself at home at Capsule Corporation and is deep in thought at his prospects of the future when a familiar voice tells him that staring at this armor is not going to make him any stronger. I know it's been a rough couple of days. Then again, not every day we have a boy from the future telling us we're doomed. And another thing, don't threaten my father for favors I can do in record time. Wait, this is better than what I requested. Are you trying to impress me? Vegeta asks for something that can make him more powerful so he can get to his goals quicker, and ended up threatening Bulma's dad to do it in the process. But Bulma, being the genius of the family, following in her father's footsteps, creates the gravity room specifically for Vegeta so he can accomplish his goals. Don't flatter yourself. I'm fighting for the future of my work and beauty. You'll have it finished in a few days. Is that so? I thought you weren't interested in helping boring men or doing anything naughty. So many rules. I'm not good at following them. What a coincidence. Me neither. And in this page, the major change that we have from Bulma and Vegeta's connection on planet Namek being established, which in my opinion is something that should have been established in Dragon Ball Z, is that they are actually in love much earlier than when we see them in Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta is, all intents and purposes, falling for Bulma, realizing he's got a catch and kind of getting used to his place on planet Earth. With this happening so early on and him falling in love with Bulma in the Android Saga, this means that more than likely we wouldn't be getting a Majin Vegeta arc. We would be getting Vegeta showing some sort of love and affection for future Trunks and being there for Bulma when she has her kid. It totally makes sense that they hooked up after the time skip and there really was no connection there to begin with, that Vegeta acts like a total douchebag in the Dragon Ball Z Android Saga to Bulma and Trunks because he doesn't really care about either of them. He doesn't fall in love with them. Bulma, you should understand what it means helping someone like me. Shh. didn't you ask me to lend you my strength? You have an oath to keep. And with Bulma's specific help in making sure that Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan, we wouldn't get a scene like this where he has to essentially put himself on death row to become a Super Saiyan. He probably would have been able to do it with Bulma's strength added to his own, which completely makes this arc so much better for me, and could possibly make Vegeta learn the secrets of the Super Saiyan instead of finding them out, how to transform into one, and then jumping right into the ring fighting the androids. He probably would have had a deeper understanding of the Super Saiyan and loving Bulma even more for helping him achieve it. That is the end of this story. I would love to see a continuation of this, maybe going into the Android Saga. I want to see how this Vegeta and future Trunks interact with each other, but I'm just so happy to have finally finished this after several years. It is done, guys. I'm gonna leave a link to the creator in the description below in the top comment. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.